Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. And if you are watching this as it comes out, well, I sometimes say it's my favourite people who watch this whilst we're live streaming, because that's what's going on the channel. If you can find your way to the live stream at the moment, we are on looking at the return of the Obra Dinn for the first time. Of course, that may have collapsed in the first hour as just a disaster, and you may be watching this because there's nothing else to watch, but I hope not. Anyway, if you are catching up with this at another point later, I'm sure you are still one of my favourite people. Now, this is a puzzle from Directionary, who was responsible for the accelerometers that we had a month or two ago. And this is, I think, his next puzzle. So looking forward to having a go at that. It's basically a little killer Sudoku. And we haven't done a pure one of those for quite a long time. Now, as well as the live streaming, there is all sorts of things going on. So on Patreon, we've had crossword content and Sudoku content later, and we are building up to the 1st of November will be the Panthera and the Asylum pack of Japanese sums type puzzles. We're really looking forward to bringing those to you. So that will be for Patreons on the 1st of the month, along with all the other content there. You can, of course, catch up with the Discord server, the apps, Sven's Sudoku Pad. All the links are on the description under the video, as is the link to this puzzle, Little Killer Madness. So, what happens in a Little Killer puzzle? Well, normal Sudoku rules apply. Numbers outside the grid give the sum of the digits along the indicated diagonal, and numbers may repeat if they're allowed by normal Sudoku rules. So, this has a 49 number. In fact, you kind of know numbers must repeat on that because there's 8 digits, and any 8 Sudoku digits can only add up to a maximum of 44. So if they were different, it would be impossible. So there must be a repeat in that 49 sum. So do give this a try on the link under the video. You'll be able to judge how hard it is from the video length. As always, I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. We do get 2 little 1-cell clues, so I'm going to enter 4s in both of those because they're kind of givens in a way. Now, the 6th clue, great, that has to be 1 and 5. There are only 2 ways of making up 6 with 2 different Sudoku digits, 1 and 5 and 2 and 4, and clearly 2 and 4 has been ruled out. Now, can we do the 19 clue? No is the answer. We can't use 1, 4 or 5 because they've been used in the box. We can't go exclusively higher than 5 because 6, 7 and 8 add up to 21. So I think we're going to have to use one of 2 or 3. And if we use them both, we'd need another digit of 14. So we're going to use one of them, 2, 8, 9 or 3, 6, 9. It is one of those combos. So it's 9 with either 2, 8. No, hang on. What am I saying? Sorry, I've got this wrong. Let's start again. It's either 2, 8, 9, that's right, or 3, 7, 9. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I suddenly introduced a 6. There it goes again. So it's 9 with either 2, 8 or 3, 7 in it. Oh, I'm very sorry about the drilling. I'll just pause. That's the loudest drilling I've heard on the building next door for a long time. Let's hope it goes away. Right, sorry about that if that disturbed your listening. Now, we've used 9 in this box. We're going to have to move on to this 11, I reckon. I don't know. I'm going to keep working away at these one by one if I can. But there may come a point where I have to highlight a whole swathe of little killer clues like that. We'll see if that happens. That would be what 44, 49 and 60 would look like. But anyway, let's look at this 11 clue. Oh, yes, okay. Well, we've either used 2 or 3 there. So here, we can't use 2 and 3. We clearly can't use 4, 1 and 5. So we must have at least a 6 and at least a 2. And that's already 8. we can't have ones on both ends because there's a 1-5 pair here. Yeah, that's quite interesting, actually. So I was wondering, could those add up to... Sorry, I haven't finished pencil marking these. Actually, I have, but I was thinking I hadn't, because I thought maybe they could add up to 9, and then we'd have 2 1s here. But that's not possible, because one of these has to be a 1. So you can't put 1s in both row 1, column 4, and row 4, column 1. So in fact, they have to be different. They have to be a 1-2 pair. That's the minimum. And this, for this pair, 2-6 is the minimum. So now we know that 2-8's not used there. That's a 3-7-9 set. Sorry about the drilling. And this is the last digit possible in box 1. That has to be an 8. Now, does that give us the 17? I don't think it does. Oh, wait. Yeah, remember, one of these is going to be a 1 and the other's going to be a 2. So the minimum that can be on these cells is 2, 3 in one case and 1, 3 in the other. And that does add up to 17. So they're all from 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that must be right. Now let's just, I'm just going to do a little check. What I could have done is added up all of the first 5 little killer clues here. 30, 47, 57, which is 157 minus, do you know the sum of the digits from 1 to 9? It's sometimes a secret, but it is 45. So if you take those out, box 1, 57 minus 45 is 12, which is 2 lots of 1, 2, 3. So that is right. I still don't think this 48 diagonal is any use at all, so I'm just going to have to keep working. I think it's going to get harder now, unfortunately. Oh, hang on, 31. Right, the minimum digits we can have here are 2 pairs of 4, 5, 6, and that would add up to 30. 4 plus 5 plus 6 is 3 digits with an average of 5, so they're 15. So we are going to have 4, 5, 6 and 4, 5, 7 as the 2 3-digit combos there. We're definitely using up 4 and 5 in each of those 2 boxes. Now what does that mean for the 44? I mean, I'm just rolling this on because it looks like directionary is ensured that we can. On the 44 diagonal, now we could have a minimum of 6, 8 in one box and 7, 8 in the other. So they add up to 29 only, which leaves another 15 in those cells. Okay, maybe that one combination was quite useful here. So maybe there's something else going on. Gosh, this is hard to think about. Actually, this puzzle would be relatively easy to bifurcate. You'd make one choice of 1 and 5 here. And yeah, that would have a lot of impact. Yes, if that was a 1 in this box, that's going to put 1 there. So you've always used up the 1 both once in those cells and once in those cells, also once in those cells and once in those cells. And with the 2 here, whichever one of these is a 2, the other one's going to use a 2. Oh yes, okay, I'm beginning to get this gradually now. So wherever there's a 1, when I say wherever, I'm talking about row 1 versus column 1. Now in one instance in those cells there's a 1. So if it was here, we'd get a 2 here and a 3 here. And this couldn't be 3 anymore. And the same would apply if you went this way. It's exactly mirror image. In fact, the only thing that's going to save us from having a mirror image 2 possibility Sudoku is that clue. But anyway, if wherever the 1 is, it goes with a 2, 3. Sorry about the drilling. Right, wherever a 5 is, I don't know if this does help. Oh look, 8. Of course, where does 8 go in this box? It's got to be here. And the same's true here. Ah, and that's on the 44 diagonal. Okay, well, it's increased it a little from the minimum it was on before, but not a lot. Oh, right, okay, I'm seeing something else now. If that's a 1, then we have 1 here and 2 here. Also, 5 there. Does that mean this is the other way round? I'm thinking, what can this be ruled out? It can't be 1 or 2, because one of those pairs must have a 1, 2. In fact, I don't know. I'm not sure that there must be a 3 in those cells yet. There may be a way of concluding that there is. But there could be a 3 here and in all of those positions. There goes the drilling. That's really annoying. I'm sorry. I started this just as they've begun that for the day. But I do want to finish the puzzle now I've begun, so I'm asking you to bear with it. Oh, there's a 9 in one of these cells. Is that? Yes. Yes, that is relevant. There's a 9 in one of these cells. This is super relevant. The 9 in one of those 2 cells stops that being a 9. The 9 in one of those 2 cells stops that being a 9. Now we've got a 3-7 pair, and that's a 9. And now one of these is a 3, which means one of those is a 3, which means that's not a 3. And now its number has become bigger than 3. It's at least 4. And now I wonder whether, right, 8, 6 and 8, 7 I reckon are the minima in those boxes. And that gives us 29. 4 is now the minimum there. That's 33. So these are a maximum of 11. And they similarly, yeah, there's a 3 in one of those positions. I don't think there can be anything out of 1, 2, or 3. Yes, there's a 3 in one of these positions. Wherever the 3 is here, there's 2 and 1 next to it. And in the other box, that makes that a 5 and that a 1, and there's 2 and 3. These can never be 1, 2, or 3, or 4, because that's sitting there. Oh, so they have to be at least 5. Remember, these 3 cells have to add up to at least 15. So, and these 2 have to be at least 5. So I reckon there's 1 degree of freedom left here. If those were both 5, and they can't be because of this pair, brilliant. So those are a 5, 6 pair. That's now 4. These are 8, 6 and 8, 7. That's a 6, 7 pair. And this must add up. That's a 6, 7 pair, and that's a 5, 6 pair. So that lot adds up to 24, plus 8 is 32, plus 8 is 40, plus 4 is 44. Correct. Right. So they're a pair. Now we can place the 9s. They can't be in these cells I've got highlighted, so they must be in these 2. Oh, and now we've got 8, 9 pairs at the ends of column and row 1. That is intriguing. Now, can we move on? These diagonals are getting successively harder one after the other, but this one has got 2 9s on it already. What are the highest numbers now that can be in these cells? I suppose you could have 9, 8 there. I don't know quite where we're going. No, hang on. We've already got high numbers. Maybe, yeah, these lot add up to at least 34. So we're going to have to keep these down to 15 or less. And these I haven't really worked out the restrictions here. I think, yeah, one of those is a 1, making that a 1. One of those is a 3, making that a 3. This can never be a 2. So that's either 1 or 3. And if that's a 1, then it's 2, 3. If that's a 3, oh, I don't know. Okay. Anyway, what I'm trying to get a fix on is whether these have any restriction on these cells. No, these cells. One of those must be, even for the column, one of those must be a 1. For the row, one of those must be a 1. Yeah, because if that's a 1, then the column has 1, and that makes that 1, and the row has 1, and that works the same the other way around. So these can't be 1s. That seems a very minor limitation, but can they be 2s? One of them can't be, but I think the other one could. What about these 2 cells? Are these... I don't think they're very heavily restricted at all. I mean, I suppose one of them can't be a 1, but the other could be. Ah, 9s and 8s again. Oh, look at that. Where are 9s and 8s going to go in box 5? That's beautiful, isn't it? They can't go in any of those cells. Now, that doesn't mean we know where they do go. But. They can't both go in this cell, obviously. So one of them goes in this cell. And now our minimum is quite high. Let's assume one of these is an 8. I'm just going to put it there for the count. Let's assume both of those are 8s. Then we've got 24 plus 9 is 33, plus 9 is 42. And these last few have to add up to no more than 7. And the corner ones can't be 1s. Sorry, these 2 can't be 1s. So they're going to have to be... One of them can't be a 2. So they're going to have to be 2 and 3, at least. And this could then be 8 and 1. And there's 1 degree of freedom there, which is unfortunate. That's more than I was hoping for. But those could be 2, 3, or therefore one of them could be a 4. One of them must be a 2. This is either 8, 1, was it? Is there some way to rule 1 out of both of these? Yes. Hang on, I've forgotten. I'm going to redo my total because I think these can't be 1s. I was looking at those cells, looking at them, but actually it's this pair. They always have to contain a 1 on both sides, don't they? If there's a 1 there, you get a 1 here. Oh no, maybe that can be 1. Oh, I'm not so sure they can't be a 1. They have to be a 1. Let me just think again about if that's a 1, that's a 1. But can this be a 1? Because that means those 2 don't have to be. Yeah, I think it can. So there is a degree of freedom. Right, so 2, 3 and 4. The minimum here is 8 and 1, but there is 1 degree of freedom on that. So it's either 9 and 1 or 8 and 2 or 8 and 1. This cell has to be the other out of 8 and 9 because they can't both be in there. Ah, it's getting confusing now. Sorry, I thought we were going all right and now I'm getting a bit bogged down. Oh look, sorry, this can't be 4 and that can't be 4 because of the 4 we placed at the very beginning. So how do these cells work? In one case, there's a 1 here. Then you go 2, 3, 7, and a 5, 6 pair. Oh look, that 4 is stopping those being 4 as well. So actually 4s are placed in these boxes, which probably doesn't help anything, but It stops these being 4s, and that takes away the degree of freedom there. So that's definitely a 2-3 pair. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten actually, the degree of freedom might be used up in one of these corners. Or here. 9, let me just check the minimums again. Given that that's a 2-3 pair, they can't both be 2s because of the way box 1 works. So that's a 2-3 pair is 5, 14, 23, 8 there is 31, 8 there is 39, 1 and 8 is 48. There is, yeah, the 1 degree of freedom is a correct calculation, thank goodness. Right, now I was going, if that's a 1, 2, 3, 7, and a 5-6 pair. But if it's a 5, 6, 7, 3, and a 1-2 pair there that I don't think I can disambiguate. And this 60 just looks too high to be useful. I mean, I suppose 976, 976 is 44. 9 there is 53. Oh, do excuse me for a second. Oh, someone else is getting that. Good. Right. What about this 48? Oh. Yeah, okay, I've just noticed this. If this is a 1, I think this is right. If this is a 1, doesn't that impact what this is? Because if this is a 1, that's a 2, that's 3, that's 1. Does that have no impact on this? Maybe it doesn't. Oh, it does. Look, it does because of what we've done out here. If that's a 1, 3, 2, that has to be 6. And that's 2. So if that's a 1, it goes with a 2 here. If it's a 5, it goes with a 6. Now, one of those, high or low, may be a problem for 48. Let's assume low, because I think 48 averages 6 per cell. So if that was 1, 2, how high can we go for the rest? 7, 1, 2, plus 7 is 10, plus 9 is 19, plus 7 is 26, plus 7 is 33. Ah, these two would have to add up to 15, and I think they can. But it's getting tight, isn't it? Or maybe I do need to think about the 60 diagonal in conjunction with that or something. Or have I missed something here? Come on. Yeah, if that's a 1, you get 3, 2, 6. And that'll force 3, 1, 5, 2. And that doesn't really tell me anything. That is a 6, 7 pair. I remember that. That's it. If I miss something here, they can't both have 1s in. That's not that interesting. Wow, okay, I'm sorry, I'm struggling a bit here. I can't see. There must be a 7 there and a 7 there. That's not very exciting at the moment. 4 and 4 must be in those areas. Can I do more on this diagonal? Do they have to be the same? I mean, I suspect they're both 8s, but it's just a suspicion at the moment. Or is there a reason one of these can't be a 1? Oh, maybe what I've just figured out now. If that's a 1, you get 3 there, 2 there, 6. Oh, I see. If that's a 1, that's a 2, and on the diagonal, that's a 1. So then you've got 1s in both of those positions. And that can't be a 1. Now, alternatively, that's a 1. That's a 2. On the diagonal, that's a 1. But they're not the same. Is there some way 1 is forced out of these cells? And I can't see it. I think there might be. Right, if that was a 1, let's look at it this way round. Maybe this will break it. Then we've got a 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. Why not? Why not? Because we don't get a 1 on the 11 diagonal and we need 1. Oh my goodness, that is craziness. But that's right. If you had a 1 in this cell, you'd get a 1 in box 2 there. The 1 in box 1 would be there. And now the 11 diagonal couldn't have a 1 on it and it needs 1. The same is going to work that way. You get 1 there, and now the 11 diagonal can't have a 1 on. So these do not have a 1 on. There goes the degree of freedom. This has to be 2, 8. That's a 9. The degree of freedom that allowed that to be 2, 3, but makes both of these 8. That makes both of the corners 9s. No one puts 9 in a corner except twice in this puzzle. 4, 2, 8, 9. Okay, well that's telling me both of these can't be the same, or whatever digit it was couldn't fit into box 5, but that's possibly not the most interesting conclusion. I've done the 49 diagonal. Oh, well let's have another look at this 48 diagonal now. 1 and 2 there is 3, plus 7 and 8 is 18, plus 7 and 7, 25, 32. Oh, has this number changed or have I just not realised? 1 and 2, 3, plus 7 is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 7 is 25. Wow, it's all going off here today, I'm sorry. 25. You've got 3 more digits to get to 23. That could be a 7, 32. These would have to be 9 and 7 at least. You could have a 9 there and a 7 there. That is the absolute max. If that's 1 and 2, the rest of this is forced. 7, 8, 7, 7, 9, 7. That is possible. Oh, I tell you what, it's not possible, but I didn't see this coming. This relies on there being a 7 here, but look, if that's a 1, making that a 2, this is a 6, and this has no possible value because there's 6 and 7 there. So that breaks this being 1 and 2, that we're now using the 48 diagonal to establish this is 5 and 6. That's a bit complicated actually. Right, but that is going to unwind an awful lot of stuff in this puzzle, which is welcome. 3 there, 3 there. That's a 1, 2 pair. That's become 6. That's 7. The 5 is here. That's 6. Wow, this really does unwind everything. This now I think has to be a 4, 5, 6 for its diagonal. Maybe I wasn't using that enough earlier. That's a 7. Let's take out the corner mark. I don't know that I've disambiguated everything else. Oh look, yeah, 14, 20, 24, 31, 39. That's a 5. 6 there. I think I heard the big drill warming up. That's a bit scary. That's become a 3. That's a 2. Can't do that 2-8 pair, but we've done, or that 1-2 pair, but we've done everything else on every diagonal apart from the 48 and the 60. So let's have a look at the 60. We've got a 6. Oh, they're quite limited, these cells. 7, 9, 8, 1, 2, 5, 4, 3 or 6. 1, 3 or 4 there. 7 or 5 there. And what's this? 1, 2 or 4. Wow. So let's maximize it. 9, 16, 20, 27, 36, 42, 51, 58, 62. There's 2 degrees of freedom here. So that's a 7. That's a 6. They're just definite. That can't be a 1. And that can't be a 1 with only 2 degrees of freedom. The rest I'm not sure about yet. We've still got 2 degrees of freedom from the max there. Right, this can be 1 or 3. That's 1, 3 or 4. That's 5 or 7. I'm probably now going to have to go back to look at the 48 diagonal again. But look, these numbers are, or the possibilities are seriously reduced from what they were. But I mean, they get bigger towards the end. Right, 5, 11, 16. Let's look at the maximum first of all. 24, 29, 34, 43, 50. Again, only 2 degrees of freedom. So that can't be 1, 2 or 3. That can't be 1, 2 or 6. It's only 2 degrees of freedom. That can't be 1. That has to be a 5 now. Can't be 1 or 2. Couldn't have been 2 anyway. Sorry, I didn't see that. This has to be 8. And now we're getting on well. Right, that's fixed 1 and 2 there. We get a 1, 3 pair. Ah! Oh no, I thought that was removing a degree of freedom. It's not. Right, let's carry on just working Sudoku on this puzzle. 6, 8, 1, 3, 7, 9 there. That can't be a 9. And 4, 5 and 2. So 2 or 5, 2, 4 or 5. Now what am I missing around here? One of these rows is suddenly going to show me that there's only one place for one particular digit, I imagine. Ooh, that's close. It's not using that 4. So I'm just going to do the maths again. 10, 15, 21, 29. These have to add up to 19. Their maximum is 21. 2 degrees of freedom. Down here, 27, 34, 40. These others have to add up to 20, 7, 11, 15, 22. 2 degrees of freedom again. Wow, okay, how's this resolving itself? Have I missed something? Does that have to be 8? That could be 8 in theory. It must be some way they work together, mustn't it? So let's just highlight all the diagonal cells I'm not sure about. Yes, I mean I can see that in column 8 the 2 cells I've got highlighted can't both be 7. So we're losing 1 of the total of 4 degrees of freedom there. Doesn't feel that useful, frankly. Wow, what am I missing here? 4, 9. those has to be 9. If that was 7, this would have to lose a degree of... that can't be 7, because that would be losing 2 degrees of freedom, and that would lose 1 as well. So that's a 9. Okay, there we go. That might be useful. That gets us a 9 here. That stops this being 9. That puts 9 here. Okay, that was a weird one. That sort of logic doesn't apply within the box anywhere else. I'm just going to colour these now so I can keep remembering where to be looking. And these 2 yellow ones now have to add up to 10. So actually that can't be 7 anymore. They're either a pair of 5s, which would put a 5 here and use up all the degrees of freedom there, or it's 6 here and 4 here, which would use another degree of freedom here. Okay, all of which mean, wow. So what I'm saying is it's either a 6-4 pair, in which case that's a 3, and we've lost a degree of freedom, and that would have to be a 4, or they're both 5s, in which case that's a 5, and we've lost both degrees of freedom, and that has to be a 4 again. So that is a 4. 4 there. Oops, 4 there. Doesn't fix our last pair of 4s. Now, if this is a 6, we've still got to lose 2 degrees of freedom here, which is either both from that cell or 1 each from those. Oh my goodness, and if you lost 1 each from those 2, now, okay, if that was a 4, you'd lose 1 degree of freedom there. You'd have to lose 1 degree of freedom there. That would become a 6, but that would have to be a 6. My word, that is deep, deep stuff. Nice work, Derek. There's 5 and 7 there. So that is going to fix things now. Now on this diagonal, I did lose both degrees of freedom there, so these have to be max. There we go. That is a hard think about degrees of freedom for me. Wow, I mean, that is really interesting, actually. That is not the way I was expecting this puzzle to turn out, but it's very clever. That can't be a 5. 2 and 4. Now it's just down to my lack of scanning ability, I imagine, from this point on. Although, you never know, there could be some sort of hideous Y-wing still to do. I don't think so. It doesn't feel like it's that sort of puzzle, frankly. 2 and 6 there. 5, 3, 4, 6, 9, 8. That's where 2 goes. That's 1 or 3. Oh, here comes that Y-wing. No, that's a 1-3 pair. So 7 there, 5 here. Yeah, that looks right. I think that's a 1 now. Yeah, this has been decided. 1 and 2, 1 and 3. Phew, 1 and 3, 3 and 7, and I think that's right, although I am just going to check the totals one more time to be comfortable. 16, 20, 42, 51, 60, 11, 20, 30, 49, 13, 20, 30, 8, 44, yes, 6, 4, 5 and 4, 5, 7. Yeah, okay, that looks right, and just the 48 diagonal. 48, lots of 5s on it, helping with the maths. Yes, wow, that is madness. As the puzzle title says, Little Killer madness going on. You may have found a way through that better, but I don't know. I think it took all of those steps and all of that analysis of the competing diagonals. Really interesting finish, actually, with that pair having to add up to 10. And making one version of that pair impossible. Really interesting. Yeah, I hope you had a go at it. I hope you enjoyed it, and very much hope to see you again on the channel soon. Do catch up with the Audrin stream when you can, and bye for now.